Good afternoon and welcome. Today with me we have Nikk Smith. He is the Technical Director, Pixel Inspiration in the UK. Welcome, Nikk. Now, we've described you many times as one of the best digital signage agencies in the UK, one of the best content providers. Tell us a little bit about Pixel Inspiration and the work that you've been doing in the last 12 months.
Really, the last 12 months have been very much about growing our business along the same kind of lines we've been heading for the last 12 years, really, to be quite honest. We're finally kind of seeing the kind of projects that we were hoping for, let's say 8 years ago, starting to come into fruition. Clients are getting more, kind of looking for more impact from their signs, looking for more integration from the signs, and we're getting to push the limits a little bit more, which is really, it keeps things interesting, and that's basically why we do it. So. You know, for the last 12 months or so, we've seen about 70% growth on the year before. You know, good profit figures. We've doubled our staff as well, so we're about 55 people now. So one of the larger, niche operators in the market, really.
55 people, that's a good number.
Yeah.
You're well known for the Argos stuff, award-winning installation. A couple of awards you've won for that particular one, and you've done some really good QSR stuff. As well. Have you got any more of those lined up?
Oh, obviously. The things that are lined up, we can't obviously talk about, but there does seem to be again quite a movement in the market to actually adopt digital. I think the leaders in the field took the risk and started to trial it, and there's obviously lessons been learned as with all technology, and then people are basically now getting a bit more brave and starting to replace all their paper POS in these kind of instances. I mean, there are big benefits to being able to go digital as well, obviously, but I think the key thing that we're seeing is that people realise now also, because it's such a business critical part of the installation, you've got to have every kind of failover point covered.
Yes, that's good. Now, ISE, you're a regular attendee. What have you seen this time around that's really caught your eye?
I think the whole show is just covered in fine pitch LED. It's everything else really is more of the same, probably refinement, maybe some more products and more vertical kind of technologies, but I don't think there's a hall without any LED, and that's strange really. But all the major manufacturers like NEC, they seem to be offering their own, their own version of the technology, which is really good, because obviously you've got then kind of European support, which is obviously you've always had with people like the Italians, but it is really good that these guys are adopting it, and just the 1.5 and 1mm LEDs. I mean, they're astonishing really. I still can't believe it when you walk into a room and you can see a 20-meter wide screen at such high definition. It's amazing and really futuristic.
We've never used we've never used LED as a backdrop before for a TV show. Right. You can now with 1.5, which is what we have here. So, is there any stands that have really stood out for you?
I think all the mainstream major manufacturers, display manufacturers, always do a great job and have some really creative setups. I thought the Panasonic stand actually was really creative, with the robotic arms moving the screens around with the content linked to that. That's a really nice. I've seen it before, but it's a really nice way to do things. Samsung and LG always go really hell for leather to kind of outdo each other, and they've got some brilliant displays, and they're all getting very good now at trying to display the technology in context, which is really important.
Right. Well, one of the best examples I think of the displaying in context has been Scala.
Yeah.
They've always done a good job with the mobile apps, the coffee shops and bits and pieces. Have you had a chance to visit?
Yeah, we went over there earlier. They've got more of the lift and learn using RFID, as well as they've done light sensing and things like that before. So that's a really nice kind of development for them. And also they've got one of the things that people don't notice actually, I think, a lot of the time with Scala is that they've got quite a lot of demonstrations where they're linking with multiple systems, so things like lighting control and audio control, tablets. It's not immediately obvious that those kind of things are being done, but that's actually where we see the future, especially in retail, where you've got linkages between different channels, all basically working together.
Yeah, and I think you've touched on the subject as well. The content seems to be getting a little bit better. I would say for the major display manufacturers, they've upped their game, but some certain LED manufacturer, I think, let us down a little bit. We had Alex Hughes from Amigo on earlier saying you still see the odd James Bond film and the green apple and the beautiful woman in the garden. At least we're not seeing
the Microsoft HD footage from 12 years ago. That's all. Anything is better than that, really.
Yes, indeed. So you've seen some good content on some of the stands?
Yeah. I mean, again, I think there's a lot of verticalization and productization. There's lots of people seem to be taking concepts that have been around for quite a while, things like the magic mirrors and things like that, and basically saying there's a product, and obviously then you've got an in-context use case being demonstrated on the stand, and that's good. because a lot of customers are coming around here who are effectively end users. They need to see those real use cases because it's difficult to make the leap unless you understand that these things can be done. So I think that's really good.
So apart from the LED that we've touched on, in terms of trends, anything that you've seen that you really think might be? Because I think LED, a lot of people miss the LED thing. A lot of people miss the fact that LED was suddenly going to be so big. Yeah. It will change the way the video wall market develops, I believe. Is there anything else that you think you've seen?
Well, I think the trends really, I think, are just basically more closer integration. So, lots of products now aren't just doing a very specific task. They are basically pulling together different technologies. So you've got your RFIDs. There's always been a big buzz about mobile integration, but that I think is actually probably even more years away personally. For true integration. So, just things like in-store technologies, as I say, lighting, music systems, all triggering and all those kind of things being pulled together. It seems to be going that way.
We had Mark Grady from Google on earlier, and he was talking about the consumerization of things as well, how what people expect in consumer is now coming into business.
It is. I think that's sometimes difficult to balance though, because the consumer technology is moving at such a rate. At the end of the day, a commercial platform doesn't move at the same rate. So there is always that difficulty where people experience amazing interactivity, fluidity of interaction in their home environment and consumer environment, and then bringing that into the business environment, they assume it's just a simple matter of pressing a button and bringing an iPad into the store.
Right.
So it's sometimes counterintuitive.
Yeah. He was making that point, but the example he gave, which I love, which was the fact that you're used to a one-point click or one click to do many things.
Yeah.
When you do video conference, he was telling us about his video conferencing product. Well, when you and I have had a video conference or a teleconference, you end up dialing lots of numbers, entering a big PIN code, a hash code, or pound button at the end. When people are in the consumer world are used to pressing this one button to do something.
I think business is starting to adopt the kind of best practices that Apple have advocated, in terms of user interface design and interaction. For 30, 40 years, really. There is definitely a big improvement in the level and quality of product that's being released. But inevitably, if in any kind of fast-moving market, people are always just trying to get the product to market. You don't necessarily get the best version in release.
Yeah, I think some of the judges, because you've won a couple of awards that are awards in December, and I think a couple of the judges always pointed out there's always an Apple-esque type thing to some of the things you've done with the QSR, with the fast food, with the Argos, the way things are clean and crisp.
Yeah, it's a design style, isn't it?
Right.
That's what it comes down to. And it's all about clarity. If if your design can't communicate, it may be pretty, but it's all down to getting the message across to the audience. So, right from the beginning, we kind of partnered with visual psychologists to try and understand what works on a display device in an out-of-home environment, because it's not a poster and it's not a television. So we've always tried to bear the rules that we've kind of learned from those kind of exercises and the interactions with the university professors and the master's graduates, that we apply that to real-world projects.
Is there one thing that the industry should look out for from Pixel in 2016?
Well, hopefully just more growth, really. I wouldn't want to blow the trumpet too much, because you don't want it's the worst thing you could possibly do. But I think I'm really pleased with the way we've grown. It's been very much organic. We've not just come into the market 3 years ago and exploded. It has been a real long, hard slog. But because of that, we've got a lot of breadth to our knowledge and depth as well, and that I think helps and allows us to convey experience to clients. We're always, as I say, we try and remain pragmatic, because I think one of the key things is when we're going to go and do a project, we always try and make sure that it's really going to add value rather than just be a bit of glitz that gets removed in 12 months' time.
Right. Nikk, here's to continued growth. Thank you very much for coming on.